Hey everybody, welcome back to This is the Fancy Rugby. My name's Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauber.
Let's get her going. We got thank you, New Cycle. You gave us way too much to talk about.
Way too much. I mean, it's not like there's anything else
can ignore either.
Happening. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, we have the last week of both the Prem and the Super Rugby Trans Tas going, and oh well, by the way, a whole bunch of squad announcements.
Yeah, it's like, geez, as if we didn't have enough. But little factoid: did you know that a year ago yesterday was when we repicked up the pod post COVID?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've been going straight since.
Yeah, we've been pretty much right out straight since then. Like,
yeah,
that was. I can tell you what was on the docket for that day. A lot of the same stuff we do at the beginning of the show. Fatty Alofa, new MLR franchises.
Oh, right.
LA and Dallas, I think, were the two. The Sam Burgess interview was on the docket. The World Rugby calendar was a topic of discussion, and then we've talked about Aotearoa.
Wow.
What a year.
Yeah.
What a year. We're almost done with this one, so there you go. Absolutely batshit crazy. All right, let's drink.
Oh, fuck yes.
Find us on your favorite place to get your podcast, download, rate, review. As always, tell us where you found us. All that good jazz.
Talk shit at us on Twitter. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
We got a few of those. I like to do that sometimes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like, all right, whatever. Listen, your life is probably not that good if you have that kind of time to talk to shit to us.
Right.
That's all I know. That's what I came up with afterwards. I was like, you know what? Guy's probably pretty miserable if he's got to do that to us.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Over silly shit.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. Shit, we aren't that. Trust me, we're not experts. We just pretend to be.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But you know what? If everyone who liked a team that I don't like, especially for fantasy, talk shit at me, I wouldn't have much time for Twitters at all. So
every once in a while.
Every once in a while, it's okay.
Yeah. Buy Georgia coffee, especially if you've gotten to your final this weekend. In either comp, do it and do it now.
Even if you're facing him in the Sacco. Wait, that's me.
Yeah.
Don't.
But
don't worry about being geek in the Sacco. It's a Champions League Sacco. This is a quality Sacco that we have found ourselves in. So
yes, this is true.
Considering that every league we are in on FRD, at least one of us is in the final, and in one of them we are facing each other in the final.
Yes.
So
yes.
We're not terrible. That's just a really good league, and Geek and I we'll talk about that.
Yeah. TRM upgrades, obviously this year is winding down, but next year you definitely want to grab those things so you make sure that you are getting ahead of your friends and get the leg up on all those people, so you aren't doing any silly forfeit, which I'm sure we'll see plenty of videos of later. Mm-hmm. So grab that and support the RPA and Restart Rugby as well. Black Lives Matter, as always, with us, and there's no room for racism, and really there's no room for booing any of the players that are taking a stand against racism. And,
right.
Call it what movement you want. If they've, and this is in reference to James O'Brien's little conversation that he had with a fan that called in about England football. And it's, listen, they've told you why they're doing it. Whether it's like under the same title, it shouldn't matter. Like, that's the thing.
Let's also bear in mind, and something that I wish we could keep the focus on, and maybe it's not something that in the UK, it's really a major deal about, because you guys don't play the anthem before every match, every game, anything. Whereas we play it when we take a shit over here.
Pretty much.
Like, let's be honest. It's played before fucking everything. And that's where the kneeling, it wasn't about the kneeling. It was about the kneeling for the national anthem. And that was supposedly disrespectful to the troops. Fuck that. Anyway,
nope. Wrong.
No. But that's the argument. So now you've taken that context of the argument completely out of it, because they're not kneeling for an anthem. They're just saying you're taking a knee. It's mimicking the kneeling for the anthem, but it's not right. They're not kneeling for an anthem. It's just they're taking a knee to show that their support for Black Lives Matter and that everyone should be treated equally. and that we shouldn't have racism.
Right.
And people are hot and bothered about that we can't, they're and that caller who's like, well, I think of Black Lives Matter, I think of police buildings on fire. And it's like, dipshit. When I think of Black Lives Matter, I think of police killing Black people.
Yeah.
And that's got to stop. And police harassing Black people and just basically fucking up their lives because police are on a power trip, and they're racist. So like there's legitimate reasons, and it's not just police, it's fucking every aspect of society.
Right.
That's got to stop. That's the problem. It's so pervasive that we don't notice it. And over there, again, there's no anthem, but that they're in front of, but they're still just, it's the very idea that someone might care about Black lives and want them to be treated equally. That really bites them in the ass. So fuck them.
Yep. No, I totally agree.
There's no fig leaf. At least Americans are fucking bullshit enough to, because that's what we do. We bullshit. But they're smart enough to have a fig leaf of it. The fucking UK people who are booing and kneeing, there's nothing there. they really have. They're just booing. They're basically all for racism.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing, man. Like,
right.
It's pretty simple. They want people to be treated equally, no matter skin color, sexuality, gender, whatever it is. And if that is something that you have to boo, as a person that I would not want you at my game. Fuck off.
Right.
You can go to another match. Like where are you going to go? Like as an England football fan, like, what are you going to do? You can't go to rugby because guess what? They do the same exact fucking thing. Yep. So you're SOL, my friend. So you go to cricket. Fans. Big deal. Yeah, no, right. Fucking that's a long story that needs to be kicked in the face, but not another day. But yeah, so pretty simple message to get behind, and yeah, don't try and tell these guys what they're doing it for. Like they've told you, and now you're just not listening. So
yeah,
what else is new? We're not listening. So there it is. Don't be a dick. Okay, let's continue on to our friends at the Champions League. We got a second tier coming up that's opening up next year. I think I've gotten 5 emails out, so I think I'm missing one of the 6 that put their hand up. Plus, we need 2 more. I've heard from our self-nominated candidate, and he's respectfully declined, and that's okay. And we still love him anyway. So
yeah,
okay.
We do.
He's still welcome to any league that he wants to be in elsewise outside of that. So that's okay. Player movement, because there hasn't been any of that lately. Some retirements. We knew Banahan was going to be retiring. That's not a shock, but yep.
Right, but he did. Made it official.
Yeah, putting it out there, making it official. John Hardy's calling it good. He's a tough.
Was that due to injury, or is that just him being?
I think he's done. He's seen a few things. I think he's done.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a tough old boy.
So I guess the other week he played the other week, right? And showed really well. So that's a good swan song. That's a good way to go out. Bow
out. Like he was definitely one of the few standouts in that Newcastle team that got tonked at Sandy Park.
Yes, that's what it was. Oh, unfair.
Yeah, very unfair. And then Callum Black's hanging him up. Callum Black's seen quite a few days himself as a Worcester Warrior, and I'm sure he's as a prop. That's tough life, man.
Still remember his 100-point half, but from a couple years ago in TRM.
Yeah, well then they fixed it. I was like, boo, that would have been cool.
Played 40 minutes, has 125 points. What the hell?
I was like, that's not right. That's not right. And you and I were just talking about it a minute ago. Zach Henry on his way out of Leicester, which is too bad. If I have my pick of the 2 guys that have played the most in the last couple of weeks, sans Ford, it's Henry and not McPhillips.
Yeah,
McPhillips had 1 good game in 4. Like Henry's usually plays well.
Yeah.
So, it's not really. That would not be my choice of which one to let go.
But then that's Leicester for you.
Right. So he's
I want to move. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Before we moved on to the next bit, I wanted to also mention that Rachel Burford had her surgery today.
She did. That's right. I did see that.
So we at the Fantasy Rugby Yanks want to wish her well in her recovery.
Yeah, hopefully.
Look forward to seeing her back out there soon.
Yep, absolutely. Leading the defending champions at that. So hopefully it works out well for her. That was a tough injury to see her take.
It was.
And then Fainganuku staying put in New Zealand, which is a big win for them, considering they've already lost Lamape. And apparently Lamape is leaving because they actually offered him less in New Zealand. I was like, ooh. And he's like,
Yeah.
and he actually said, if they offered me the same, I probably would have taken it. And I was just like, so New Zealand, don't be cheapskates.
Right.
And I know that it's not like they don't have a litany of talent in the middle, but he is quite a unique talent, just the same. So, hey, their loss is Stodd's gain. So, unfortunate injury news is Andrew Porter, a toe is going to keep him out of the Lions. That's going to be so aggravating. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, your Lions dream is over because of a freaking toe. Like, oh,
that's the line. That's why there's the heartbreak for the guys who don't make it, because it's like it's never anything big.
Nope.
Even to make it to as far as they are in professional rugby, there's a fine line between semi-pro and pro ready players.
As we know,
So that the toe, that's enough.
Oh,
fuck, it sucks though.
But his loss again.
Yeah,
Kyle Sinclair's gain, and as much as everybody was banging the drum, and it's deserved 100%. Yes, it comes by injury, but there's nobody that's going to be questioning that, honestly. So good for him.
He's definitely worth it.
Yeah, Xander Ferguson goes to the Bin Juice team automatically.
Yep, absolutely.
Sorry, guys, that's just facts. Yeah, we'll see how many other replacements we see. I would wager we're going to see at least one more before they take off.
Oh, we're going to see. Yes. Every time there's a tour like this or something this grueling, their players are pushing themselves to their physical limit when you're not watching, and that will lead to injury. There's going to be guys who get injured before, and then there will be guys who get injured after this tour. Just that's what happens.
Yep.
So yeah, there'll be others.
And the Lions' opponent, the Springboks, have announced their team. The first name that kind of made me raise my eyebrows was Kuna Eustace, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Like, their scrums are usually one of the best things in the world, and he is not going to help. He is not that good. He's
not. But I guess you have to count bodies. I don't know.
It beats me.
I mean, they've got more than enough.
Oh yes, no doubt. Yeah, he can be in there as the midweek team or whatever it is that they need, the equivalent of that.
Yeah, the taxi squad. In case they suffer an injury and he's got to be the 10-minute player at the end. He won't kill you there, but if you're not starting him,
no,
at that level,
no. I mean, we might be replacing guys already. From the squad. Vermeulen's having surgery, and then Sneeman and Dialende literally playing with fire.
Dumbass.
You fucking idiots. You morons. Who was over there and said this is a good idea? Like, come on.
I'm sure they were plastered.
Oh, I'm sure there was plenty of alcohol involved.
When do you like
the beers were very involved.
Who picks up a can of petrol, throws it on a fire besides a drunk person? I'm sorry.
Not very many.
That's just if you have a can of petrol anywhere near a fire, you're drunk.
Likely.
So
very likely.
Yeah, when they're like, oh, it just caught. Like, yeah, it just caught because you didn't do it right because you were drunk. So
100%.
There you go.
Some Prem names were thrown into this one. Jasper Wies gets his first call up. And I'm sure he'll see the field too.
Yeah, as long as it's not suspended.
No, yeah. Avoid that one. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Morna Stain called in. I mean, he's done this. This is old hat for him playing the Lions. He's done this once or twice. I guess that makes sense in a lot of ways. Fair enough. All right, that works. And then the Dupria twins. I mean, good Lord, pick a Dupria twin, and one of them's got to play. They've both just been absolute monsters.
They have been ridiculous.
So I would definitely throw them in there as well. So yep, it's going to be quite the clash coming up in July.
And I wanted to throw out a name because it's there was a similar kind of situation. I don't remember now when I was really first breaking into seriously following the overseas rugby, and like right around the time that Billy LaRue was like on his way out from Wasps. I don't remember him being that impressive there.
Yeah, but they like him on the they might go on the Springboks. I don't know.
And I am not saying it. I'm just where I'm going with that is that it kind of ties me towards this whole Lima Sopoaga thing, who has been tweeting out his departure, his slow departure, from England as he goes home, and thinking the same thing about him. So it's like, what if don't be a 15 who go from overseas who goes to Wasps.
That goes to Wasps. Apparently, it's a cursed position.
Right.
Like, geez.
Yeah. That's why they named it. I was like, yeah, Billy LaRue was good, but I remember him sucking at Wasps. It wasn't until he left that I was like, oh no, I see now. I see him playing well.
Forever, he will live. He will just have in his memory that try he knocked on in the try area, diving in. Mm-hmm. Against Leinster.
Yes.
Nobody's going to forget that ever. Nobody's going to forget that ever. Oh, boy. Eagles named their 30-man squad. Unfortunately, Harry Barlow was not included, but that's all right. There's still plenty of time, and there's still a lot of the MLR season.
Oh, wait. No. Different.
Wrong guy. You know, what I do like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that are uncapped on this team. And there's 9. And there's about 4 or 5 more. 9, you're right. Yep. There's about probably 5 or 6 more that have less than 5. So,
yeah,
he sees an opportunity here to put some new bodies against what will be 2 very good teams in England and Ireland. Even if they are a little depowered, it's still fucking that's a step up from MLR just the same.
Right.
So he sees the opportunity here to blood these guys and get them used to international rugby.
And he should, because guess what? The USA rugby fucking the Eagles suck, right?
Yes.
They always have. So why would you bring back experienced suck?
You wouldn't.
Like, how many times have we when we wanted what's his name, who they finally got rid of at the World Cup?
Sean Davies.
Not Davies. No, the flanker, Quilly.
Oh, jeez, yes.
Yeah, Quill, who we were like we knew also from before he even got a cap.
Knucklehead.
We played with him.
Knucklehead.
So and and they just never would. And it's like, well, we need the experience. Like, well, you don't need that.
You don't need that.
And then he gets a red card at the World Cup. Embarrassing us in front of the fucking world because we needed experience. No, you don't. There's some
not
experience.
That kind.
Like,
Nope. 3 Saracens are on the list here with Will Hooley and Pip Luddy, and I know DeHaas currently listed as Il Gilgroni, but he's going to be ours in the fall.
Yeah.
So
and TD Lemos Statelli.
Yeah, a Saries grown man. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's Saries through and through. So that's really cool. And as you and I discussed, if we have our way, captain will be Mr. Greg Peterson from Newcastle Falcons. And I think that's a great pick.
Okay, and AJ is already captain. He's been named.
Has he been?
Yeah, he's on the.
Bollocks! I didn't even see that. Thing. Oh, geez, that was not there before. Damn it!
Which I'm okay with.
I'm okay with. I'll live with that.
Yeah,
I will absolutely live with that.
Because as much as I do think Greg should be your leader, AJ's your best player.
Likely, yes.
So
not many arguing on that one.
And he's at an extremely key position. So that makes sense.
Never further than like 10-12 though from that pack though. Never further than that. Like when Scully, love the guy, love the man, but not captain out there, not on the wing, please. No.
There's too much communication you have to have with the official and to your team as to what you want. No. Yep. So 10 is probably good because you can, he's talking to everyone constantly, just like the 9.
Yeah. I hope we see Luke Carty from LA playing
Me too.
10, 12, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fantastic. Look forward to that a lot. Cool. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see what this team does. Excuse me. I can't talk. Other squads that will be announced later this week. England and Australia plan on announcing it sometime this week. I think England's tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, Eddie may have dropped his squad. Australia this weekend, I believe. I don't trust the thing that Eddie's going to do. So all I'm going to think about is Dave Rennie and like what he's already experienced in terms of bringing in guys to a camp. And I hope he continues the theme because they have an interesting test series coming up with Australia. It's 3 games in like 10 days or something like that. So it's going to be change will be needed for all games pretty much. So I will be very interested to see how it goes, and I'm excited to watch that Australia team and see what they do going forward, and especially against a very good French team as well.
Right, that's going to be a big test because they're not missing any Lions. So
Nope.
it's not like it's not like what the U.S. is doing.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. England, I just don't have any hope. I'll believe it when I see it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
We know Dave Ribbons won't be on the team now.
Jeez. Yeah.
We'll get to that, but yeah.
Oopsie daisy. Referees confirmed for the 3 tests: Nick Barry, Ben O'Keefe, and Mathieu Reynal. Of course, we're gonna have a French referee get the last one. Why not?
So here's what needs to happen for England. I'm sorry, for England, for the Lions.
The Lions
is be prepared for high tackles, and don't lose your shit when the referee just lets them go. Because
a couple of them.
Those Aussie and Kiwi refs, they're not going to give you shit, and you can't expect anything from the French ref. So
absolutely not. So just deal with the fact.
Yeah. Unless Barnesy is gonna check you when you fuck up and overrule you.
Right. Well, it's Piper, H.A. Jacobs, and Marius van der Westhuizen as their TMOs right now, listed as the TMOs.
Oh, then what was is Barnesy a touch?
I think he'll be a touchy. Yep.
Okay.
I think he'll be a touchy. So there's that. Good luck. I think the Scottish referee Adamson is doing one of the Georgia matches again for the
Davidson?
South African. Adamson, excuse me.
I
know. I wish. Yeah, I'd take Holly Davidson all day over this guy. Fuck that. Jeez. Yeah. She needs to do like a Pro 14 game or something.
She is refereeing I can't remember if it was
one of the sevens matches, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe it's a Rugby World Cup qualifier or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did see that. It's one of the lower European qualifiers. Right. That's right. Hey. Yep, I remember that. Hey, good. Get her in there. She's better than anything else I'm going to be able to spit out, I promise.
Yep.
No doubt. Okay. And after all that, Super Rugby Trans Tasman. Pretty wild weekend. And the leadoff game, Force Crusaders, looks like it looked initially like the Force or the Force really crashed the party for the Crusaders in a small way, at least.
The Force showed what you have to do if you want to beat the Crusaders. Now that doesn't mean you're going to do it, but if you want to beat them, you gotta get over the try line early and often, and just throw them off their game. Because if you just let the Crusaders get into their rhythm, as they eventually did for a spell, because you're never going to keep them out. You can't just let them get up on you, as the Reds saw. Let's say, right. By the time the Reds really started playing rugby, they were out of the match.
They're very focused.
So good on the Force for being like, you know what, let's fucking go.
Where did they have to lose?
Right, 2 minutes in, they were scoring. So obviously they were doing something right.
Agreed.
And it was this night. There are a ton of tries disallowed, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there were lots of no-goes on this one. It was really, I was like, no, not another one.
But it just goes to show that there's good rugby being played, right? If they're calling back tries, it means teams are scoring the tries. They're making a mistake somewhere along the way, but that's a lot better than just making mistakes and not scoring tries. Being say Worcester.
Plenty of that to go around for a lot of people. Let's not do that anymore.
Good on the Force for nutting up, and it's a shame that they couldn't finish the job, but it's Crusaders, right?
Tough.
Yeah, that's the best club team in the world right now. So showing up in their building and really keeping the crowd kind of out of it. I mean, they didn't really get rocking like they can when the Crusaders are rocking themselves. So there's a little bit of nail biting in there. So that's a win.
And they took away that bonus point, which the Crusaders all rude.
They did.
They're like, shit.
Yeah, the Crusade. Yeah,
let themselves down a little bit on that one. So then we skip on over to like I said, the age-old battle, red versus blue, and blue wins.
Blue won, yeah.
Blue won. That's
more convincingly than the scoreline, but that's okay.
But man, freaking Matt Greeley that morning didn't even know it. Thought he was playing club footy on the weekend.
Right.
Freaking Brad Thorne calls them and says, "Hey, I need you tonight." What? Oh yeah, you're straight into the team. What? Okay, I just put myself a little bit.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I change my underwear. Oh man. But nothing glaring from Matt Greeley. So good on him. He played within himself and he did it well. So good on him. That's a decent debut for a very young boy.
And the Reds did nut up. Like, I mean, I did say that the score, there was a late score that made it a little bit closer too, but still, like, the Reds played well. It's just the Blues played that much better.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I mean, Hamish Stewart getting thrown into 10 at last minute, like,
yeah,
poor guy, like, just nothing to be done. Isaac Henry took all the kicks, and performed well outside of that as well. But this who's the number 4 that plays for the Blue? I don't remember this guy.
Tuipa something.
Yeah, where'd he come from?
I don't know. Like, kind of, I think maybe he was just.
Didn't think he was still playing anymore. Shit. Yeah, he's good.
He's all right.
Oh man, yeah, that guy's pretty good.
He got over, and I was like, I've seen Tuipa score before, but it's been a really long time since I have. So
yeah, and that was a good one too. So
yeah, it was a very good one.
Good run for the big fella. So the Blues do take care of business as they wanted to, and they are able to maintain their top of the table status in Trans Tasman, which is more than a lot of people probably thought they would have after coming out of Aotearoa. A little bit disappointed. But
yeah. But there they go. All they got to do is win.
Yep.
So
win in there in the final.
Right. Is that right? Oh, okay. Which one? Hold on.
They're 19.
Okay. So they're good. Yeah, they're winning. They're in. It's the Highlanders that need to outscore the Crusaders this weekend.
Yep, it'll be interesting. Speaking of the Highlanders, they put themselves in the driver's seat more or less.
Did a job.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's the Waratahs, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Waratahs season is just basically like, all right, we're just gonna play, and if they score, fuck it.
Right.
Screw it.
Right. Which is fun when you have a decent defense. But when you don't,
not great.
Not great.
No, not at all. Not at all. But at the same time, the Highlanders needed to rock up, and indeed they did. It was good to see Will Harrison back wearing the number 10 shirt for the Taz, though. That belongs to him right now, I think.
It does. So, I mean, it's great fucking going into the Chiefs week, but that's fine.
Now they figure it out.
Fine. Yeah. Oh well. Not worried.
Oh man, Brumbies and Hurricanes. This was painful for me to watch. I was not a happy person, to say the least. So here's the unfortunate thing, and listen, the Jordy Barrett should have won this game 3 times over. So
yeah.
Let's start with that. Let's start with that so we don't sound like a complete dick.
Now, to be fair,
Paul Williams is a dick. Referee.
Yeah. Oh, I did not like his refereeing at all.
No.
But you're probably not going to agree with me. I thought he favored the Hurricanes in as early as right off the opening kickoff.
And I think I'm on the opposite side of that, because I feel like because he's from New Zealand, he went and tried to do everything he could to say, nope, I'm going to call everything that's 50-50 against the Hurricanes because I am a Kiwi and I don't want to seem biased.
Interesting. Let's
put it this way, though. Here's the bottom line, and this is the one thing that you can just say. He was not a good referee on this day, no matter which team.
Right. I guess that means something. If
yeah, probably true.
I mean, I'm a neutral, but he's still I'm not I wasn't rooting against the Hurricanes.
The scrum. There were 3 different scrum penalties, and they flip flopped based on who had the ball, and they were the exact same motion all 3 times. I was like, which one are you fucking calling? Come on, man. You don't know what you're doing with the scrum. Yeah. Shocker of the day, a referee has no idea how to referee the scrum and just points to the team with the fucking ball. It doesn't matter. It's not how it fucking works.
So because the opening kickoff where he called the offside penalty.
I thought that was kind of stupid.
Yeah, I was like, that's if anything, that's unintentional offside. That's a scrum. That's not a fucking full arm. So I didn't like that, and I also there were some other things. I wasn't exactly. I was watching somewhat distracted, so it's
fair enough. I was not.
But the Carifi yellow should have been a red.
Oh, I knew he was in big trouble. I was like, this is not going to be good, is it?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the one incident where I can say, yeah, Paul Williams probably leaned a little bit towards the Hurricanes on that one. But again, as we talked about, like the Kiwis and the Australians aren't really pinning this thing down. They're really letting it go.
Yeah. And really, to me, the Canes played amazing attacking rugby. The Brumbies just played really good defense.
That was one thing they definitely did.
Shocking defensive effort on their part to be able to do that against the team that was putting on them under that much pressure and attack. To keep them and yes, as you mentioned, Barrett missing 3 penalty kicks
near the end.
Right at the end, in the last 5 minutes.
He could hit those in his sleep any other time, like for whatever reason.
One of them was like 55, 60 meters.
He still would hit that, though.
He still should hit that.
He still would hit that. That's the thing.
So that's the crazy thing. You're like, he missed, it was from the other side of midfield, and you're like, no, he should hit that. That's a Jordy Barrett, no problem. But then there was right outside the 22, and then right at the 40. So it's like, those are Barrett,
those are Barrett hits every time,
right?
Like
blindfolded, yeah.
Yep. So really disappointing in that case.
Unfortunate. I felt bad for you. I didn't even text you about it. That's how bad I felt.
Yeah, I was like, I was a unpleasant person to be around that day. After that one, I was like, thankfully the Prem came on shortly after I was done watching that. So I was like, all right, palate cleanser.
Yeah, I felt that way with the Chiefs match the other week, and the one where fucking DMAC did exactly what Jordy did.
Yeah,
missed kicks all day.
Damn it to hell. And then, your Chiefs rocked up.
Certainly.
So here's the thing, and there's a guy on your feet that's on the team for you that I totally agree is not a good player. But there's one thing he can do that's very good, and that's run the line nice and hard, phrasing boom, with the ball. But after that, like if he wants to pass, if he needs to ruck, if he needs to tackle, if he needs like anything, he's not good at it. He's not good at it. But he's got the whole like running a straight line and different lines very well and carrying the ball, but just don't ask him to do anything else.
Like he killed a couple tries just by. And then did you notice the Chase Tiatia try right after halftime? The Chiefs just skipped him. They're like, you don't get the fucking ball.
No. You do not touch this. Go right to him. He can do it.
Too important for you to get this ball because holy fuck. Totally. I mean, they still scored some through him, but like it was because he Stevenson had to reach back and catch it.
That was not a good pass.
And then he fucked up his pass to Anton Leonard Brown. But Trask still finished. So it was like, ALB is ALB, and Trask
played really well.
He did.
From fullback. I will say that to his credit. And, and on the other side of the coin for these guys, 2 guys that stood out for me, not named Michael Wells.
Because he's one of mine.
Because he was one of mine too. But like, I feel like the name rolls off the tongue these days for him. Yeah. Izzy Nasirani played really well in a return. He's still coming back to fitness, and that only does good thing for Dave Rennie's team, because he's eyeing that 8-man jersey, and he needs a couple 8s really with this schedule coming up in this test series, and then obviously you look at like Bledisloe later on down the road. And then if there's anybody that will ever question, and I don't think there is, Matt Timua's toughness, you need to just take a hard look, because that man is tougher than so many people I've ever seen and play a rugby match, and he's playing 10-12 like. There aren't a whole lot tougher than Matt Timua, and he is.
No, he's putting his face in there,
heart and soul.
I thought he was dead. Well,
I did too.
I thought he was knocked out.
I did too. I was like, "Are you dead?"
Yeah, no. I'll just get back up. I'll get back. Like, he
took
an HIA for like 3 minutes, and they're like, "Okay, no." He's like, "Fuck it, I'm fine. Let me back in."
No, you need to take an HIA, big guy. Yeah. So never question that man's toughness ever. And if anybody ever does, then I will question you.
Yeah. That's of disallowed tries in this one too.
There were, and I thought a couple were Chiefs, one from friendly.
Well, look, I'm just happy. I am extremely happy that there was consistency in the obstruction.
Yeah, that's true.
That first try, the Sean Stevenson should have been try. Should have been a try.
I thought so too.
There was no obstruction whatsoever. So
I stood still, if not like ran his line like slowly.
Yeah. I think he ran past the defensive line, like he made sure he got past it. The defender kind of was retreating, and yeah, there was no way he could have known that was going to happen. And I don't think there was contact. I don't think it affected the tackle's ability to be made. It was just incidental contact that happens. Yeah, whatever. But at least was it Kellaway got pinged for it late, which it was certainly worse than the first one though. Yeah. So that's all that mattered to me. It was like that. This is a far worse infringement. So you better fucking call.
Like I said, consistency. God damn it, is the thing we really asked for in the long run. So got that right. But Chiefs take it, and then we're gonna have quite the grandstand finish for the final here. In so many ways, it's all to play for all the Kiwi teams, really. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of some teams need help, some teams not so much. Blues take care of business, and that's game. They're in. That's the final right there. And then after that, it's down to Highlanders, Crusaders, Hurricanes, Chiefs, and what they do in their matches. So,
Highlanders have an 11-point lead on Crusaders in points differential. So,
not much.
So the Highlanders are playing Brumbies, and
that's a tough ask.
Crusaders are playing
the Rebels. I think the Crusaders are going to overtake it.
I think Crusaders are going to. Remember the Richie Bawunga game a couple of weeks ago?
This might be it again.
Yeah, it might be it again.
Yep, might be it again. Look out!
People are saying
duck and cover.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, incoming.
Yeah, big time. All right, let's head north. Sale and Quins Friday night. Everything we expected once we saw the Quins lineup.
Yep.
Pretty much just dead on. Like, loads of credit to the guys that performed for the Quins.
They did, yeah.
But shit, if a different outcome came from this game, I would have been extremely shocked.
Yes. This is always going to happen, as you said. Once the lineups came out, no Dom, no Danny, no Marcus, no win. So Quins had that fourth spot locked in. They're not going anywhere. There's no reason for them to throw their best out there. And it's just like what Bristol did. Let's see what Bristol did it with Exeter. They're like, let's go see what Exeter have. We don't need to win this. Let's see how they're going to attack us and defend us. And so that's what the Quins just did with Sale, because you never know. They could meet up in the final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I'm sorry, how stupid is Faf de Klerk? Like, people are like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. No, it's not. You can't do that. Just because you're smaller doesn't mean you're allowed to do dumb shit. That's not how it works.
Charge. Yeah, that was. I mean, like I said in the chat, that was a hell of a football block.
Yes,
he would make an excellent, pass blocker as a running back. Doing shit like that. Excellent work. None of that's legal on a rugby pitch anywhere.
No, 0% of that. 0% of that's legal here.
Yeah, and that is why you and I are not particularly strong fans of Faf, because it's like he doesn't need to do it. And if he was,
he's a supremely talented player. He does not need to do stupid shit like that.
If he was 5 inches taller in the same frame, he would have fucking killed someone doing that.
Yeah, you've been in big trouble.
Right.
Big trouble.
So just because you're wee doesn't mean you can just do shit like that.
No. It's a funny thing that those guys you get away with sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's go up to Newcastle. Newcastle, Worcester. All Newcastle all the time for the most part, really. And Worcester's same problems continue to come back and haunt them. Unable to finish, unable to get the ball over the line, with the exception of the few and far between. Was it the Shilcock try that Lawrence offloaded to? That was pretty cool. That
was nice.
I like that. Jamie Shilcock's been playing out of his balls for this team this whole year, and it's just a shame that he's getting hung out to dry continuously.
Yeah, it is. He's. I don't know I don't know what to do with Worcester. with Worcester. I don't know what
John Thomas probably doesn't either. I hate to tell you, he's probably right there with you.
I can't. Yeah, they were non-existent this match until like the 70th minute or what,
right when Shillcock scored.
right. And then because then Hill scored again. It's like, oh, now you remembered. Like,
oh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
And I think Ted Hill even scored after, if I'm not mistaken, it was after significant play within the 22. So it's like actual rugby that Worcester haven't shown the ability to do in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but Newcastle, it was all Newcastle because they were the only ones playing rugby.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Indeed.
I don't know how much possession Worcester had first half, but it wasn't much.
Minimal.
Of course Newcastle can put up, 21 straight points on you because if you're not playing, that helps. That's the only way Newcastle are doing that.
Yeah, but I mean, was it the second one or the first one that Adam Radwin finished in a very, very spectacular fashion?
It was the first one. Well, both of them were cool. But one was the dive, and then the other I thought he was it a chip and just a touchdown or something close to it. So a fucking acrobat.
He's not bad.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, did somebody lose their giraffe? I believe if there's a Newcastle zoo, it has lost its giraffe because Sean Robinson got loose on the field and got himself over the line too. I was like, what is the big fella doing making moves like that from distance?
Right. Well, I mean, again, they're the only team on the field, so
yeah, they were. They in many ways they were. So oops. But hey, Newcastle, right the ship after last week, and that's good. That's good on them for responding in that way. And it shows that that was probably just a mail-in game from them, unfortunately, and that sucks.
I mean, that was the idea. So again, I think that was they were in position to make it to Champions Cup next year. And whether or not they beat Exeter, they were never going to beat Exeter. Mm-hmm. So
wanted to focus on the last two.
Right. So focus on the last two. Don't get anybody hurt against Exeter. Mm-mm. Get the guys you really don't care about hurt, which is great. Good for them.
Yeah, Sylvie.
Great.
Let's go over to the fireworks that were at Welford Road.
This game was kind of. I don't remember anything memorable happening in this match.
Nothing at all.
No, I think I remember. Yeah,
I remember Semi's bum.
I remember there just being a lot of scrums at the end. I mean, Semi's bum.
Yeah, a few of those at the end. I mean, this was a well played match, and this was in front of a crowd that was pretty raucous. So okay, cool to have a place like Welford Road rocking again. Yeah, only makes the Prem better without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to see a Tigers team rock up and
those tries they scored. I mean, God, good Lord.
Liebenbergs, yep.
No, fucking Bristols. The Malins, the pop to Piatow. I'm talking about the fucking.
Oh yeah, I mean Max is really good.
Max's offload and Piatow's pass to Radradra. Just a thing of beauty, putting it on the outside shoulder of the defender. Like that defender didn't exist on that play. Just didn't exist because like there was no way for him to make a tackle, even after Radradra caught the ball where he was. There was no way he was getting to him, and then he couldn't get to the pass. It was just he took him completely out with that pass. And forces Radradra there, so he's finishing.
Yeah, he's finishing.
And then this fucking winery about. Okay, so is there a law that says there's once the referee has blown the whistle and given the mark, there's still a 3-second delay that a player needs to have before they tap and go?
No, once the mark's been given, you are SOL, my friend.
Well,
get your ass back.
People need to shut the fuck up because Harry Randall towed the ball after the whistle was blown and after the mark was given. So no.
And that's very Bristol.
Right.
And that's very much both him and your end. That's like the way they love to play, and obviously good things come from it usually. Right. So and we saw they pick their spots and they do it well. So good to see Harry Randall back into his old ways.
And we saw Dan Robson do the same thing against the Irish, the exact same thing. And the difference in between Randall scoring a try and the Irish defending it was the Irish defended it illegally and took a yellow card.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, I mean, Leicester had the opportunity to tackle him and take a yellow instead of a try, but they decided to, play it legal, and
Right.
that was the decision.
100%. Nope, that was absolutely the right decision on that part. So worked for me.
And then the Malin's try. What was it? Sheedy throws the dummy, and the defense rushes up, and then they're all of a sudden Malins is just behind the defense, ready for the pass.
He's like, nope, this is easy.
See ya.
This is old hat for him.
Yeah, and then Piers with the intercept, offload to Radraja for his second. Just all of those are just like, if you want to take them and like, those are all coach tries. Like, this is good rugby. This
is how Pat Lam wants to play. So
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he knows that, and that's why when the things like this aren't happening, even if they don't quite turn into tries, that's when that's when he gets mad. He's like, "Yep, we're not playing our usual stuff," and he knows it.
Yep.
So that was brilliant stuff from Bristol. The stuff at the end, I'm not a doctor, and neither is the Tempest. That's all I know. You know.
You mean Jake Kerr still working for taking a paycheck from Leicester?
Collusion. Oh man.
No, but okay, yeah. That so clearly, as far as I can tell, first off, I am Team John Afoa. And you will never be able to rip me away from that.
Most people are, last I checked. So.
And Pat Lam has a point that I think was glossed over by a lot of people when he said, "Am I tactically subbing out John Afoa after 40 minutes?" No, he was hurt. Like, it was so whatever was written on the card by the team manager obviously was incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
But that aside, they got an internal thing wrong, and I did not like the way Borthwick handled that. I don't like the way anybody handled that, to be perfectly honest.
Nobody handled that well.
Nobody covered themselves in glory.
Nope.
There.
Nope. But in the NFO was like, fuck that. I think you're the one that said he's probably had a beer. I was like, yeah, you're probably right, actually. He's probably already had a drink.
Right. That was before we could see him. But then what was it? Did you see the clip of him? I can't remember if I sent it to you. I think I did. Where they isolated him off the ref mic, and as Borthwick is being a crapper, I think Afoe was like, "Yeah, watch me win the penalty."
Something like that.
Like,
yeah.
Fine, you want me to do this, then I'll go win the penalty.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So then he won the scrum.
He got it done. It wasn't the prettiest, but man, it didn't have to be pretty at that point. It just had to be done,
right,
for the sake of Bristol.
And Urin was quicker to the ball than the old man.
Yeah, I mean, not a good way for Wiggles to cover himself in glory after getting to such a great milestone too. So that was really unfortunate.
And his behavior sparked the whole confrontation.
The brawl at the end, yeah.
Because what was it? So Urin jumps on the ball quicker than he does and kicks it to touch.
Right.
And he then grabs Urin and fucking twists him and throws him. And Afoa, who has been up and celebrating his good deeds, kind of sees what happens at the end there and goes over and just tells Richard, hey, I fuck off, in so many words.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wigglesworth takes him down.
That is definitely frustration.
I thought at first it was Afoa just talking shit to him, and kind of kickstarting it. But no, it was Wigglesworth that started the whole scrap.
Yeah,
I did like to see Joe Joyce coming in and sorting out Ellis Genge at the very end.
couple of old Bristol boys just sorting it out at the end,
because Genge needed to be sorted out, because this is like, Genge, this is why you're not. This is why Sinkler's going and not you.
Yeah,
honestly,
there's a lot of good loose heads in the world. So,
but it's a reason why Sinkler will get the chance before, because Genge, you never fucking know if he's gonna lose his fucking head.
He's behaved for the most part, I will say.
He has, but I thought I did not like the way he was acting in this whole post scrum.
Yeah, as you said, no one covered themselves in glory. Just the same.
And that's the one where because he and I think it's more of you got to know that you're rehabbing your reputation and doing a good job of it. So don't get involved in shit like that.
Yeah, don't get in there. To Borthwick's credit, when asked later in the week about it, he took the high road and said, well, we didn't win the scrum penalty afterward, did we?
No.
And he
had the option to go. He was given the option to go uncontested scrum. which and losing Callum. So you had the option to be up 2 with an uncontested scrum, and instead you had to pitch a shit fit, and Afoa came in and kicked your ass. So yeah, you got to better be taking the high road because you fucked up.
He did, and he said, and they asked about the weight, and he's like, you know what? We all wait for TMO decisions. We wait for this. We wait for that. So he took the high road. He might have been pissed in the heat of the moment, and sometimes that happens. Trust me, been there, done that. But at least post, he could have taken shots. He just shut up and said, "Nope, I'm gonna eat my hat here and be done."
Like, I understand him being mad, because I likely would be in the same kind of situation. But I'd be mad that there was no penalty try by that point.
Yeah, Bristol were probably a little bit lucky at that point.
But if a referee offers me another man off an uncontested scrum on their 5-meter line, guess what I'm doing? I'm taking the uncontested scrum, and however I want to do it. If I want to have an 8-man pick, if I want to and then with
you have your choice of attacking options with that.
You say I back my team to score a try in that situation, and that's it. I have no problem with that. I'd be like, all right, let's fucking do it. People have this fucking bug up their ass about uncontested scrums, and it's like, fucking.
It's not pretty, but man, to have clean ball off a scrum is really a blessing
on the 5-meter line.
Right. Yep.
And 2 men up, where they have to have everyone in the scrum, so they still have to have 8. So that means they 100%. Have 5. They have 5 out there. What are you thinking?
Agreed.
Yeah, that's I think what pissed me off the most about Borthwick. It was like, not only are you being stupid,
might have made a knucklehead decision on that,
right? Yeah, but hey, whatever.
Yep. That's how it goes. Let's run over to Brentford, and this was another amazing match.
Really was.
Man, this was so good, and I was. Number one, I did not guess this outcome was going to happen at all. I was like, no way they're going to get this done. And fucking Tom Willis just wills his way to his team getting a victory.
I can't say I knew, but I had already seen from my TRM team that Willis scored 3. But I'm still watching it. I'm like, I thought he was going to score 3.
Right at the end. Right at the end. Save
they're
the
not
best for
going to do
last.
it. It's over. They're not going to do it. It's done. And then it was 86 minutes in.
Yep. Save the best for last, man. So both teams played brilliant rugby in this match, and a couple of hammerhead decisions now and again, which is no shock to anybody. But really, this was just 2 good teams going at it. And really trying to outrace each other for who had the most tries. Like that. That is a rugby match that you want to watch.
It was,
especially as a neutral. Like get just like put on a show, guys. Like go out there and I tell my kids, express yourself.
Right.
Do as you feel.
There was only one thing I did not like about this match, and that was that they took Ollie Hoskins off 25 minutes in.
Did you play him?
Well, yeah, but
you fucking dumbass. That's your problem.
Well, no, but why would you take? First off, he's a good fucking prop.
I don't know. I think he got hurt. Honestly, either that, he was just not having a good day.
Well, he was kind of. I think he was getting his ass kicked in the scrum, but he was doing really well in the loose. So it's like that's what you get with Ollie Hoskins. So I bet it just seems like he's being capped at 25 minutes, whether it's first
one way or the other.
Right, one way or the other. That's I think what kind of annoyed me. I was like, okay, good. Hoskins has been playing well. Let's see him for more time. That's all. I was expecting longer, but that's such a minor complaint.
Yeah,
everything else
so small.
Even Marcus Watson showing
played really well. Yep.
Yeah.
First match in a while. Your buddy Tuisui.
2 for Tui.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, mighty Tuisui. Hopefully on that Fiji team playing the All Blacks soon
with his beard.
Awesome. Yeah, his beard's not red anymore. That's disappointing.
Right. It is.
It's extremely disappointing. As if we didn't have enough good matches this weekend, we got one more Sunday. Northampton and Exeter, and another doozy. And man, this was just so much fun to watch. And Hutch was Hutch of old, and Stuart Hogg looked like the guy that we know and love, and Sam Skinner validated why we all love him as both as a player and as a fantasy asset. Like Yep. And all this while Dave Burbans was sitting on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay. Of the 4 teams that we know are obviously going to go to the semis, I have the least confidence in Exeter right now. Northampton, we're putting it to them.
Yeah, they stopped. Somebody said it, like they stopped counter-rucking. I was like, "Why'd you guys stop counter-rucking? Keep doing it." I know it's a bit of a risk when you have a guy in the bin, a guy off the field, but
it's working. Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
Yeah. So but fuck, it was just a hell of a match, and Exeter had him for a good long time. And yeah, it was I expected that halftime lead to reduce itself.
Oh, at some point, absolutely.
That was one of those,
Exeter still.
If Saints had a 2-minute halftime instead of like a 12,
10 or 12, yeah,
they would have won this match. Unfortunately, you get when you're Exeter, you start really thinking about it, and for the Saints, you get to cool down, and then all of a sudden you got to go out there, and it's just a different energy.
It was.
It's one of those, like, if you felt it early, like, oh, this could go the other way.
Yep, very much so.
You could feel the energy through the Roku.
Definitely. Yeah, we saw Simmons and Biggs both leave this match. It sounds like there's nothing too concerning, although I would bet the farm that you don't see Sam Simmons this weekend.
I bet you don't see Dan Bigger this weekend either.
Same. Yep, I would say that as well. One point I do want to make, and we all know how much there are so many Jags on Exeter that I just want to freaking punt somebody in the face that's wearing a black shirt over there. With all the talent in the world that Harvey Skinner has, why the fuck are you continuing to fucking beat your head into the wall with Ian Whitten?
Remember how we were talking earlier about experience?
Yeah, I guess so. He's not a complete helmet and doesn't do anything stupid, but
he's not good.
It's almost useless.
Yeah,
he's pretty useless out there, honestly.
He's without use.
And this kid Skinner's got boatloads of talent.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, if he's like supposed to be your backup 10, whatever, fucking shift him to 12. Why the hell's that hard?
Right.
I don't get it. Ugh. So that's a frustrating thing to watch.
Well, it's Chiefs. They're not
fucking Baxter.
Right.
Fucking hell. And then it's too bad Facundo Cordero came off because he was playing brilliantly to start that second half, and sounds like he picked up something to get himself pulled. I was like, no, he's playing so well, and that killed my fantasy team too. Among other things.
It did end our. It hurt in TRM for sure.
Faux show.
I was hoping to get a sneaky like 20 to 25 points from him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy. I thought easy 25 points.
Yeah.
All right. Free Jacks MLR whip around. Free Jacks match was a brilliant one.
It was a very good match.
It was a brilliant one, and the boys played extremely well.
Yeah.
So amongst all the things that you didn't see, or maybe you did see, when they had one of those scraps, I don't know who it was. I think it was Roberts Tanana and Tolatau were like pretending to fight. Like Tolatau was pretending to knee him in the stomach. Man, I was dying. I was laughing. So everybody else was like getting pissy with the brawl that was in the middle, or whatever, the scrap that was in the middle. And I am laughing my ass off at that. I was laughing hard.
I must have missed that because there was a time our feed died for 20 minutes. That's
right. You said that.
So yeah, I must have missed that one.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I was dying so hard. But Bo Walker at 10 wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't at all. And you kind of expect that. Yeah,
he's a good player.
He's a very good player. So of course, slot him in at 10. He's moved all over the pitch now.
Yeah, he's now played fullback. He's played wing. He's played 10. And Johnny Poland, fucking hell.
He's gonna prop soon. He's going down.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's getting closer.
We'll see Walker at 1 soon.
Yeah.
But you pointed out made a very good point with the Coetzee signing. We got 2 players really for 1 because
we did.
Talatau now can play the back row where he's more comfortable. When I think we saw that 2 weeks ago, or when they played the Arrows, they stuck him in the back row. They're like, we know this is your spot. Here you are. We have another guy that was already inbound into Boston,
right?
That day basically, and he was like, "Yep, all right." They were just like, "Yep, this is your place. So we're gonna put you back in your happy place and let you do your thing." And he scored.
Yep,
he scored really well.
Yeah.
And loads of credit, and the man has class, and I got to have a quick conversation with the guy, Danny Tusitala, the 9 from DC. I was pouring so much shit into this dude's ear as much as I could because he's such a really good player for DC, and like I was like, I gotta throw this guy off his game.
Did you chirp about the lettuce at all?
No, that was actually one thing I didn't get in. There's one thing I did not get in. You think that'd be the obvious thing. But, and then he starts acknowledging me, which was the funny part. And people around me are laughing their ass off about it because they know when you acknowledge a guy in the stands, whether or not you're enjoying it or you hate it, the second you acknowledge a person in the stand, they're gonna keep going. And it just, obviously I'd had a few beers, so just gave me a little bit more oomph. So I was pouring. So afterwards he came, I was standing by the stands and he came over and I was like, listen, dude, I'm only doing it because you're such a really good player and I needed to give our boys a shot. And he was super classy, but he's like, "No, man, I love it. I totally love it." So he climbed up and he took a picture with me. And he's cool. He's a super class act. I hope Samoa eventually get him back into their fold because he's totally deserving. The dude looks like he's one of the best players on that team without a doubt. And that team goes as Danny Tusitala goes. So
plus there's a natural rivalry there. Not just because of the East Coast, but we were born the same year, so it's like
you were.
No, I know
the DC and the New England were both created the same year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's but yeah, so super class act that guy was, and I really enjoyed having a quick chat with the dude, and he was super appreciative of it. And yep, that was pretty awesome.
You're the type that would chirp, funnily and not, like
I'm not gonna be a dick.
Like
I'm not gonna be like insult his mom or something like that. Like
nice kick to touch kicker.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah, I'm definitely that guy.
Right.
Yeah. So super class act. Thanks, Danny, for doing that. You're all class, man. Whip around for the MLR. Austin beat Houston. Shocker of the day. Houston's terrible. Atlanta beat NOLA. Yes, finally somebody beat fucking NOLA. San Diego with Danny Pryor in the lineup beat Toronto 40-30. Obviously, we took down DC, and in the final match of the weekend, Utah beat Seattle. Seattle's not very good this year, and guess who they're playing next?
Oh, I can't wait this weekend.
Man,
I cannot wait.
They're gonna. That's a bitch of a trip too. So
it is.
Yeah, that's not fun for them.
I'm disappointed that they suck because I've been looking forward to seeing Seattle play.
Right,
and they've been so good.
Ross Neal. So there's that.
And I do like the kits. Gotta say.
And we'll see what the high team guy is like because that's one of Gary Gold's new favorites. So
and Psalm, he should be there, right?
No, Suniula.
Okay,
that's what you're thinking of.
Okay,
be Suniula.
That's right.
So yeah, there'll be that. Okay, we got that start set thing we like to do.
Well, we do, and I'd go first.
So I believe you're up first.
I'm up with if I can find it. There we go. Hurricanes Reds. All I can. So here we go. It's FRD finals week, so you're not gonna not start anyone if they're starting. If you have a gap, there's just people that I really would avoid. So this is where I'm saying, like, if you have that gap, try to look somewhere else. Houston. These teams are good versus outside backs. So both of them. So I'm looking for kind of the weak links. And in that back line for the Hurricanes, it's Wes Houston, which isn't saying much, but I expect the other two to get more points. Reed Prinsep, Ruben Love, mostly because he's not kicking, right?
No, he's not. No, Jordy's kicking.
So it's not a good spot to have a 10 that doesn't kick. So
no, that's why I'm against the Reds, I'm not really. I wouldn't be a party about that. That's for sure.
Right, and the locks, Scrafton and Blackwell, just no. You find another lock. There's going to be plenty available.
There'll be plenty, no doubt.
On the Reds, I'd avoid Matt Greeley. I know we talked about him positively, but probably not this week.
Still not a points getter though.
Right. Exactly, and the same thing. The Hurricanes are very good against outside backs, and the other two should score, so I'm guessing Greeley won't. And then Angus Scott Young, I think, is another one to avoid. But other than that, everyone on the Reds, I would not look at you crosswise if you started them. Jared has had a dog enter the room.
Player dog has entered the chat. Okay, my turn. Brumbies and Highlanders. Highlanders are middle of the pack in points against, 6. So might have some spots, might not so much. For the Brumbies, Mac Hansen, his production fell off a little bit, but that's mostly because of injury. He's back in the 15, and the Highlanders are one of the worst against the Brumbies. Yeah, so the Highlanders are one of the worst against the outside back. So I'd give him a shot. Ikitau, Simone, Highlanders are middle of the pack against mids, and they're both really good for him. So I'd give them a roll as well. Kunzel talked him up last week. Highlanders are number 1 against fly halves, though. So womp, don't play him. Sorry. I know this would have been a week to get cute, but this isn't it. Brumbies are number 1 in points against, but this is the Highlanders, and they are cooking with gas. So let's see what they got. Collins, yep, he's a no-brainer. At 13 seems to be his home. Mitch Hunt playing pretty well, and this is definitely a spot that also the Brumbies can be had at 10. Aaron Smith, love him. Brumbies at 30 against points against and versus halfback, and he's not one that takes off, so that's the problem with him. So I would go no. Good boy.
On to the Rebels versus Crusaders. We really couldn't talk enough about Wells and Nasrani, and they should do very well against the shockingly the worst loose forward defense.
That's funny
in Super Rugby.
That's funny.
The Crusaders. Everything else, the Crusaders are good. So good fucking luck. I'm not sure I would recommend too many of the Rebels, but outside of Wells and Nazarani, those guys should do pretty okay. On the other side, Cullen Grace, I would, or whoever's at 8, I would not. No,
scary.
But
I feel he's been pretty good, but not him. Definitely
not. All the other Crusaders are fine. So really, that's just you're pretty much your 8 man from the Crusaders. Is the only one I'd take a fly. I would pass, take a waiver on because I don't want him.
Nope.
And I would highly recommend everyone else on the Crusaders because, as we mentioned earlier, they need a lot of points. So
they're gonna go ballistic.
They're gonna score tries.
They're gonna.
That's what they do.
Absolutely bananas. Blues and Force. Force have slipped to 8 in points against in Super Rugby FRD. Plenty of options for coming at you for the Blues. Fayani, someone needs to capitalize on all the attention that Rico gets. I think it's his turn this week. Tuipulotu, Force are awful against locks, and you're probably going to start a lock in the final this week. He's a pretty good one to have. Robinson, whoever plays 6 for the Force are actually tough against loose forwards. That 6 hole is the one I'm worried about the most. But I mean, geez, if it's Akira, I'm not going to tell you not to play him. And even Robinson's actually not a bad play, but I'd just be very weary about that spot. That's the only thing. Right. Blues have risen to number 2 in points against per match in Super Rugby FRD. Look out, Perth. Force front row. Blues aren't particularly good against them, the front rows, and Force usually produce at some level. So that might be an okay play if you're stuck. Miotti, still startable. Blues are 4th against the fly halves, but I think the Force stay in this game with pens, and he's the one kicking them. So there you go. Ferguson Warner was a popular pick at the start. Not quite working out this year for the Force loose forward. So if you're relying on him in the final, I am very sorry. That's all I know.
So to the last match, the only one that really matters, because here's what's going to happen. Every other Australia team is going to win, and then it's up to the Chiefs to
to pull it off.
No, so but it's probably not going to happen, but I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to pull it off anyway. For the Taz, the Chiefs are shutting down fly halves. So even with Harrison coming back and looking good,
there you go.
Yeah, you're still going to start him.
I know.
Mark Nawasi and Maddox are fine. Parisi too, but not Fouquetti. He hasn't been scoring well too much anyway.
Okay.
But also Chiefs have been pretty good. They're good against midfielders. It's one of those Parisi will get the points and Fouquetti won't.
It's frustrating as hell. That's all I know.
Yeah, it's like twins. There's one Arnold Schwarzenegger and one Danny DeVito.
God, yes. It's a good one. It's a good reference.
Yeah. And then for every one of the Chiefs should be fine. They have been just scoring, kind of what I said. Once McKenzie's out of the way, Hagen shit. Everyone else is just lighting it up. Even Tupaia, who can't fucking throw a pass, or be in a ruck or pick attack or whatever.
Anywhere basically.
You got points for the meters you run, not what you do when you're done. So
When
that's
what,
right. So that's why he's a fine start. But other than that,
there you go.
Yeah.
Of the weeks.
The weeks.
Hopefully this guy starts. I'm a huge fan of this guy, and I actually had him as a sit not too long ago. But it does me great pleasure to put him on this list this time. His opposition is not very strong, fantasy points wise, in defense, and I love the way he plays, and his playing style is perfect as a halfback. So my start of the week for the final round of Super Rugby Trans Tasman is All Blacks and Chiefs halfback Brad Weber.
Nice. Well, okay, we're staying in the same match. I'm going just a little bit wider, and I'm going with Anton Leonard-Brown.
ALB. I picked him like 3 weeks ago, so I can't do it.
Right. Because as we've talked about Quinn Tupaia being, that means he's the one who gets replaced, right? Vancouver comes on and does so much better. Mm-hmm. So, Anton Leonard-Brown's going to play the whole match, and he might put a couple down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be surprised as that.
I'm thinking a brace. I'm feeling a brace for Anton Leonard-Brown.
Brace sounds good. That's a good marker right there. So the week. I don't have a love or a hate for this guy, but the team he's playing and the position he's playing, and I know everything says otherwise, but there's always one person that's the odd man out when it comes to this position.
As we've exactly have been saying.
Yeah, and I really don't like his production and as a fantasy wise, and I love the other two. Okay. So my sit of the week for the final round of Super Rugby Trans Tasman is Rebels loose forward Richard Hardwick.
There you go. Yeah. It's like that. You know what? Yes, I was going to mention him, but then I didn't. But
there you go. Now you got it.
Yeah, but Wells and Nazarani. Yes.
That being my point. Yes. That being my point.
Not Hardwick, right? And mine, I mentioned him, and we both kind of agree that this is a guy you just don't want at this position because of the situation he's in, where he's not kicking anything, which is really where tens get a lot of their points, because they're unless they go for a scoot, they're just everything's through the boot. Hey, that rhymes. Anyway, my sit of the week is Ruben Love.
I love the kid, and I think he does such a better job than Orban Ledger does, El Cunado. But what he does is just not points getting, but it's something that the Hurricanes need. So unfortunately, that's just the bad news for Ruben Love owners. And trust me, I rode Ruben Love as long as I could in fantasy. Yeah. I couldn't anymore.
You'd think he'd get like 5 try assists per match. Just
every once in a while, he picks one up, and that's when he's worth it. But that's not something you want to bank on.
Yeah.
All right, up to the Prem. There's a home semifinal play here. It's Exeter and Sale. Full noise lineup for both, I would suspect.
Absolutely.
With a few wrinkles here and there. Still are
I don't
Sale.
Know. This is for a home semi.
Right.
This is huge. I think they both go.
Yeah, because the last team. Can you name the last team that won an away semifinal in the Prem?
Fuck no. I don't think I've ever seen it.
It was the Saracens against Northampton.
Oh, there you go.
It was like 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
It was a meh year for the Saracens. They snuck in, they beat Northampton, they won the final. I was dancing up and down my apartment that day.
Yeah, that was before my really giving a fuck about
Catherine was annoyed with me.
Yeah.
The boss was really annoyed with me that day. Anyway, back to the now.
So this is
Exeter versus Sale.
all the testicles.
Yeah, Sale is still no fun to play against, fantasy purposes, especially, and otherwise. For Exeter, Slade, Sale are middle to bad against midfielders, believe it or not. So I wouldn't hesitate to play him, especially since he's probably the more dynamic of their midfielders, despite his stupidity. Hogg, same story. Sale are poor against fullbacks, especially in TRM. FRD, they're better against OBs, but you're still playing Stewart. So Stewart, so do that. Sam Simmons is normally a full go, but he might not be in this match. So that would be something I would give caution to. Probably not worth the C this week either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Or not nice to
unsee him.
Exeter are 5th in TRM and 2nd in FRD in points against per match. For sale, Bevan Rod. Exeter are awful against props and front rows. Off
Right.
you go.
Yep.
Way you go, especially if Neil's in the lineup anywhere, whether he's on playing 20 or starting. Give that a go because he's listed as a hooker right now.
Right.
The Dupria twins, don't hesitate. Give them both a full noise. Should be fine this week. Quirk, not Faf. Maybe Quirk off the bench even. I like him, as we said last week. Byron McGuigan. Exeter are 2nd against wings and OBs. He's a hard no-go this week in either format if you can help it.
On to the Bath versus Saints, which would be interesting because there's Saints have nothing to play for, so who knows what kind of lineup they're going to throw out there.
Mixed bag, I bet.
Yeah, throw some newbies out there. Whereas Bath need a win, just to stay in champion, just to make sure that they stay in Champions Cup. So looking at this again, I did the same thing here for TRM. You're going to go mostly with your guys. You kind of know who's going. Like Bath and Saints both are terrible fantasy defenses, so probably play everyone.
Lots of options.
But for the so I'm sticking more with the FRD side of this because you're looking for advice for your final. The Maxes, Ojomo and Clark, they're probably on your free agent wire at this point. Pick one of them, and maybe both. If you're missing both, if all you had was Worcester and Gloucester centers.
Yeah, well, Venture and Harris were one of mine for a while. So
yeah, I had to. I'm doing some butt clenching this week because I have for a couple key spots. But Ojomo and Clark are full go.
Absolutely.
I would say avoid the Path front row in both formats because without their guys, they're not good.
Yeah, no Bono, no Dunn.
Right. Northampton are quality against loose forwards, but I trust the Bath Lucies anyway. And Priestland should score well in both formats because Saints still, as much as their defense has improved, it's not great against 10s.
Well, there you go.
On the other side, like I said, I'm looking at Grayson for 10. I would check the waiver wire. He may just be sitting there right now. Pick him up now before the lineups are announced, just so that you have him in case, you'd rather have him than have your opponent pick him up once he realizes that he's
right.
He's, that he's playing, he's just sitting there.
So what you're telling me is you've already grabbed him.
I believe I have actually.
Dick. Sorry. I think I have Simmons in that league. So
yeah, exactly. So yes, I have Grayson in that league. I just checked.
There you go.
Right. And that's, of course, Marcus Smith is going to be my starter if he's playing. So you don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, everyone's a full go for Saints. For FRD, everyone. For TRM, I'd focus more on the backs because we didn't mention Ribbons being suspended. He's out for 3 weeks, which is why earlier I said, he's out for Eddie, no matter what. So yeah, they don't really get much points outside of Ribbons in the certainly in the locks, and I don't know about Matavesi this weekend.
We'll see.
Yeah, for TRM, focus on the backs.
Yep. No joke. Wasp Leicester need to hang on to this. They have a chance to actually fall out of Champions Cup spots, believe it or not. So that's a terrifying thought for them, I'm sure. Leicester are 4th and 5th in points against per match, stiffening up just a bit. Phrasing. Plenty on the line here for them, like I said. For Wasps, Tom Willis, his form makes him tough to turn down. Leicester are very poor against number 8s on top of that, so give him a go. Charlie Atkinson, decent contrarian play or outside the box play, whatever you want to call it. Leicester are poor against fullbacks, and he's played fairly well for his time at 15, although as much as we talked about it being a bit of a hex position at Watts, funny that we actually had that conversation before I even wrote this.
Nice.
Or after I wrote this, but forgetting that I had already written it. For Augrey, Leicester are tough on the hooks. Yeah. This is not going to help because of his throwing issue. So if he's their starter, I wouldn't play him. Sorry. Wasps are 4th and 6th in points against per match. Some stiffening of their own. Jasper, play him with caution. His call up to the box will definitely have his tail up, but Wasps are number 2 against number 8. So if that's his position of choice, they're actually softer against flankers, those in TRM. So there you go. Youngs and with Montoya back, I foresee a pretty dead even split for the two of them. So that's tough for as a hooker. For
Right.
you want him playing 55-60 easily. I would say the split's going to be like 45-50 maybe. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on that one. So I'd be a little, if it's not Montoya on the bench and or starting, obviously wouldn't worry about either one of them too much. Then it might be all right. Freddie Stewart, 100% Leicester fullback for a long time. Just not a good fantasy producer. Don't play him. Please no. Pretty please no. Not in the final. Not in the final.
Another intriguing match: Bears versus the Irish. I don't know who's going to play for Bristol. They've shown good. They might want, then obviously they got a little heated at the end of last week. They might want to, have some, cooler heads.
Maybe, yeah.
But at the same time, they're also playing for, that's if Exeter win, they could, they're playing for home field.
They could leapfrog them. Yeah.
Right. So
they don't want to play Sale. Let's put it that way. They want to play Quins.
That too. Nobody wants to play Sale. But for the Bears though, just start everyone. It doesn't matter if they're, if they're playing on this, even if it's more on hands. Like he might be worth it. He's the only one I'd say maybe not, but I don't think he'll be playing anyway. I think he had his time. They're ready. Purdy will be in there, or now Lago, which I would hope to see because I think he would be. I would hope that he would be part of their full noise team, and we haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, might be picked up with an injury we didn't know about.
Right. So anyway, for the Bears, start everyone. On the Irish, a lot of you have probably made it to the finals. Through at least one of the Irish outside backs or centers. This is not the week to rely on the Irish outside backs.
Yikes.
Or their centers. Or their loose forwards. Or their front row.
Yeah, tough week, man.
Yeah,
tough
sorry. You're going to need some for you're going to start them because you never know. One, it's like the same thing we talked about in Super Rugby. One of them, yes, will get the points, but instead of this being like two of them will score and one of them won't, it's like five of them won't score and one of them will.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That's where you are in this matchup.
It's terrifying.
So, you go well. Best of
Godspeed.
luck. Yeah,
Godspeed.
We're all with you.
Quins and Newcastle. Newcastle are bottom for both formats, but they're obviously playing for a shot at a Champions Cup spot, so they might come out with their the tails up a little bit. We'll see what the Quins team comes out as well. Literally, for the Quins, my guess is Louis Lina. We might see him again, and probably in the starting lineup. And he usually performs when he's in there, so I'd give him a go. Will Edwards scored really well, even if it wasn't garbage time last week. It still counts. Remember that. Might be an even better this week because he's not playing nearly the stiffer opposition as he did last week. Lindaho, been in good form since DC came off the field against Bath. But Newcastle are actually one of the better teams against Nines. That's the terrifying part. So if you need to in FRD, close your eyes and hope and pray. Maybe
I may need to.
Yeah,
I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay doing that.
So yeah, close your eyes and hope. Quinn's middling to bad in terms of points against per match. With a rotated squad, I'd say the emphasis might be on bad. We'll see. For the Falcons, Radwan, absolutely worth the play. Return to the team and just has that speed and ability to finish. 2 tries last week. I don't see why he doesn't get another one this week. So that's a thumbs up for me. Peterson or Robinson, both are great plays this week. Harlequins aren't that good against second rows, especially if they're going to sit anybody, especially if they're going to sit Levis. Jeez, him. Yeah, I'd definitely play him without him in there. On the other side of the coin, Burrell or Orlando, no goes this week. Quins are actually still pretty mean up the middle. So one spot that they tend to really defend well. It doesn't matter who's in there for them. So I would give that a hard thumbs down.
And then we're going to our of the weeks.
Of the weeks.
You mentioned my start of the week as a potential not playing. I believe he will be playing. And it was going to be basically down to him or Dave Ribbons. And that was before I'd seen that, so I looked it up. That's actually where I learned that Ribbons was suspended because I was like, I haven't seen any posts about it. So I wasn't sure that it had happened. I was like, well, he got a red, so I'm sure he was suspended. And yes, he was. So
yes, he was.
But this guy, he's been injured but he's always been awesome when he's played, and now he's come back. He's been in form, and his opponent Newcastle are just terrible against locks. They're the worst in the Prem, and this guy is a very high scoring lock, so the stars are aligning for Stefan Luis to rock up.
Yeah, I mean, if he's in, definitely.
Right.
Definitely. I would not
I
even
think
blink.
I think the Quins took last week off. Again, the same thing that Bristol did.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to get their top side in form this week. I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think you're right. I think it'll be a mixed bag of who starts and who comes off the bench, though.
Possibly.
I think that'll be it. So that'll be the tough part to figure out.
But I think they're big names. Their big names will play, and then their other guys, I mean, like, I don't know, like Danny Kerr may come off the bench.
Mhm.
But I'm sure that Marcus is playing. I'm sure that Dom is playing, and I feel pretty confident that Luis is playing too. So
there you go. My start of the week looked great in his return last week against some pretty tough opposition, and he's definitely vying for a potential white shirt this summer, and I hope he gets it. And also, he's definitely been one of the best nines in the Prem this year. So my start of the week is England hopeful and Northampton halfback Alex Mitchell.
There you go. I was going in a different direction, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with Harry Randall.
No, I love him. I love him too. I hope he gets a white shirt as well. I hope he does too.
No, it was just one of those, like, I was absolutely certain who you were talking about until
I said Northampton. You're like, never mind.
Like, oh, like, like, now I know who you're talking about.
Now I got it.
Yeah, I got you. My sit of the week is I didn't mention his name when I was telling about the, not talking about not playing the Irish backs this week.
Mm-hmm.
Bristol are killing outside backs. Let's put it this way. Only Anthony Watson has broken 10 and 20. So 10 points in FRD, 20 points in TRM in the last 4 weeks against Bristol. Yeah. And I think that's either pretty much. I think maybe some have done either, but not both. Mm-hmm. In that same time frame, Ali Hassel-Collins has broken 10 and 20 only once. He's not in form, but to your point, I would hope that he might be in contention for Eddie's team, but as a replacement, and just get him some experience there, because he's been fucking amazing. But on this kind of form that he's showing, I'm not seeing it. So I hate to say it, but sit Ali Hassel-Collins.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Because you need 10 points. And you probably need 20 points from outside back in FRD if you're going to win. You need 20 points this weekend. Ali's not going to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, mine's from the same match. These guys have just been mean to this position, they just continue to be a complete nightmare. Whether or not their own positions perform is irrelevant, because you're figuring out what guys you don't want to play at this point.
Right.
So, this guy's going to be a popular pick, and I don't blame anybody whatsoever. I love the guy as well. But
is this your start of the week from last week?
No, my sit of the week. Sit of the week for the final round of Prem in regulation here is Australian-born and London Irish prop Ollie Hassel-Collins in the London Irish front row.
Oh, you mean Ollie Hoskins?
Ollie Hoskins, excuse me. God damn it. The other Ollie. See,
the other Ollie.
You said that, Ollie, and I did that. Look what you made me do.
I thought you were going to go with Rona.
Nope.
Because he was also he was close, and then I realized that Ollie Hassel-Collins was it.
Rona's at least performed.
Right. Well, Rona was your start of the week last week, so I thought you were going to do. I thought you were going to do the flipperoo.
The flip. Nope. Champion Yanks League, a final. Well, Carrick made it. Carrick's going to finally be on the board. Attaboy, Carrick. Attaboy, Carrick. Some other dickhole made it too. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
And then in Super, it's going to be Justin and George. And you're in that Sacco bracket too. You're in two Sacco finals. What's wrong with you?
Are they both against George?
No, one's against Carrick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
One's against Carrick. Yeah, and then you and I. Somebody send us like a quick forfeit that we should put on the line for Ben and I, because Ben and I are both are playing each other in the podcast final.
Right. It's kind of rude being having
Sorry
the two
to
of us.
everybody that was there.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you for joining our league.
yeah, and so we can tonk you.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry. Oh man. Looking at TRM, I thought I was going to be able to close down Duncan, and then I went and had a fucking awful week. Oof. Ribbons did not help me at all.
No, Ribbons. Yeah, Ribbons. I mean, yeah, you had it worse than me, so I'm not going to complain right now.
Yeah, I had 300 points. That was a bad week.
Yeah,
that was
I
one
had
of my worst ones for
452.
that.
I still had a very good week, but
Yeah, decent week still.
Yeah,
Oh, that was just not a good one for me. Well, but yeah, Ben's holding down top spot. Anton,
7
Duncan,
points.
myself. Yeah.
7 points.
Squeaky bum time there.
It is.
George, Justin, Mark, and Carrick make up the bottom. The Champions League scoreboard tells me that Anton is pretty close to closing this thing down, so that's good for him. When we get ourselves some swag made, we'll make sure Anton gets himself a shirt. Okay, let's go to pick 'em because this is going to actually tell us a lot about what we think is going to happen.
Well.
Super Rugby to start. Hurricanes and Reds.
Oh shit! Hold on, let me find the. Fuck did it go? Sorry. Give me a second. I lost a tab. So, okay. Hurricanes, Reds. The Hurricanes were not in form last week.
No, but they're in Wellington.
They're in Wellington. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Canes. The Reds.
No
the Reds
O'Connor
have a
either.
shot. But yeah.
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 Totally. No, like this is gonna be a freaking drag out fight. This is not gonna be easy. Brumbies Highlanders. Can the Brumbies get 2 in a row?
No.
Yeah,
Highlanders.
I didn't think so either. I was like, this Highlanders team's really good right now. They are clicking.
And the Highlanders are playing for a spot in the final, right? They have to win. That's the bottom line. They have to win, whatever the.
And there's no Lolosio for Brumbies either.
Yeah. Okay.
That does it for me.
There you go.
Rebels Crusaders.
Crusaders.
Sorry, Rebels. Yeah, Crusaders are gonna make this not fun. And then Blues and Force. Blues win, they are in. More than likely, at least.
Yeah, they're going to win.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, we saw the Force give the Crusaders a hell of a shot. But the Blues are. It's hard to say that they're worse than the Crusaders right now, or much worse. So certainly not enough to lose this. And the Force again are, on the road.
Yeah, tough outfit, but still not going to get it done. Taz and Chiefs. I anticipate this one to be very much like the first game of the year, where for the Taz with the Taz and the Canes at least, for the Taz sake, 60 odd points against like 40 or 50, and Chiefs come out on top.
That's a fair assessment or an expectation for this one because, the Chiefs are actually playing fairly solid defense, but I mean, as we saw last week, they could still give up. They can still give up tries when they feel like it.
And there's some talent on this Taz team too,
and there is. So the Taz are going to bring some, bring some heat to this. Chiefs are already in country, I assume at this point, because I'm assuming they stayed.
Yeah.
So it's not
they did anyone anywhere else,
right? So I'm going to assume that they're fairly comfortable in their environs, and I think they take it.
Hundy. All right, so. The Crusaders outscore the Highlanders?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have Blues and Crusaders in the finals. Interesting. Well, it's the final everybody thought was going to be in Aotearoa, which it wasn't. But...
Well, the Crusaders also have the added benefit of being a day later, so they know what they have to do.
It's true,
and that's why they're going to do it.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Sorry, Rebels.
Yeah.
Duck and cover, man. This cover your eyes. This might be ugly. Exeter Sale in the Prem.
Sale.
Yeah, I really feel like Sanderson's going to prepare these guys because he's done this before. You remember he's been to the Saracens once or twice, and he knows what this team's going to bring. So
again, it's also that the Exeter they're the weak. Right now they're the weakest team. If there were if we were doing power rankings, I don't think they'd be top 4. They're not. They haven't been that impressive lately. And they've been wobbly at times.
A little bit.
So and the
See what happens when they have 15 players on the field.
Right. Although it's Sale, so who knows how long that's going to last.
Yeah, that might not be always last. Jeez. Anyway, Northampton Bath.
Bath.
I'm taking the Saints.
Bath need to win to stay in the. I think it's more desperation to
Be
stay.
true,
They have a lot more to play for. Northampton have nothing to play for. They're not going out of 5th place no matter what. So.
No.
I think
I like the way they played though. So
yeah,
maybe the rec gets them over the line. We'll see.
Yeah, that too. There's a lot's lining up in Bath's favor, so I'm taking them.
There you go. Wasps and Leicester. You get it. That might be a game you get to pick up on me.
Wasps.
Really? Man. Leicester need to play for this thing. Another team that needs to play to stay in.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
But they both need to play to stay in.
Yeah.
They're both in the same bucket. Wasps are where'd I go? Wasps
don't look at the TRM table. They've been wrong like the last 2 weeks.
No, I'm not looking at that. That's why I'm switching back and forth between tabs that that look different. I was trying to find which TRM tab I needed. I just Wasps are at home. They need it just as much as Leicester do, and I like Wasps better as a team. I know that they're struggling now with with both centers out, but I still think they get. I mean, they've shown they can get it done. And I mean,
I like the Rugby better, but
yeah, exactly.
No question
That's really why too.
There's no question about that. I do agree. There's no question about that.
Yeah. So, I think it's gonna be that kind of match.
Yeah, Bristol and Irish.
Bristol.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not back Bristol.
Yeah,
especially back at Ashton Gate.
Right.
Even if it's a semi-change team.
Let me see. Oh yeah, Irish still have 2 play, but they need help. Right.
They need help.
They need a lot of help, and I don't think they're gonna. I mean,
somebody from Wasps and Bath are gonna lose. So there's that. No question.
You mean Wasps and Leicester? So someone's coming out of there.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
So yeah, that's true. They don't need help. They just need to win. I don't know. I think Bristol are playing for more though, right? It's different when they're playing.
They're still playing for the number one. They don't want to play Sale.
Right.
Simple as that. They don't want to play Sale. Or Exeter if it happens to go that way.
Right.
But although it wouldn't be Exeter, but if Exeter win, then So they don't want to chance it, and with everybody kicking off at the same time, you ain't gonna freaking know. So
exactly, and they're a better team than Irish, and I think again they're gonna put their full noise team out there because they haven't. They don't want you're not want to give your squad this whole split and just bring them back in knockout rugby, right? You're gonna want to play them at least once in the last few weeks, and Bristol haven't done that really. So I think this is their, again, them and Quins are gonna, I think, put their big guys in just to have them play.
I think we'll see a lot of the Quins normal guys here, which is Newcastle. Sorry, Newcastle. I don't think you make Champions Cup this year, as
that's
cool
good
the
for
stories
you.
would be.
That's good for you. You don't.
Oh, you get tonked in that competition now.
That would not be a positive experience. So
no. I think the stuff they did in the Challenge Cup for the most part was pretty good. So I think that'll only help them go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, all right, man. We didn't talk about anything. I feel like we let everybody down.
Nah, there wasn't. Like I said, not much to talk about this week.
Fucking hell. All right. Well, good news is we'll have a lot to talk about next week, but not so much to go on after that.
Right. It'll be yeah.
Three matches.
A couple. 3 matches. So the start sit won't be nearly as.
It'll be 2 matches for start sit. We're gonna flip a coin and see which one happens.
Yeah. Well, no, 3. We'll get 3 because we'll have the final Super Rugby Trans Tas final.
Yeah, but that's not a final for anything.
Oh, that's right. There's nothing to talk about there. All right, There you go.
No, we'll have a chat about it, but we're not gonna. We're not gonna do anything about it.
Okay, yeah, that's right. This is the final. It's only 1 week.
So final FRD. So good luck to all those in finals this weekend. May your forfeits be a little bit less harsh than some.
and may your Sacco earning punishment be light.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. But other than that, we will catch you guys next week, and we appreciate you all for coming along, hanging out, and listening to us babble. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.
Later.
Cheers.